Happy Monday, everybody. We are doing a little bit of sill pan preparation before we set the front door. First of all, one thing I want you to notice, we put a piece of smart side down. We're going to set the door on top of that. That raises it 3/8 of an inch, meaning that after hardwood goes in, which is 3/4, plus the rug, that the sweep on the door when the door opens is not going to get hung up. You'll also notice that the zip is sealed to the concrete with Siga Fentrum tape. Again, sticks tenaciously. And then we're using the Rissan tape for the sill pan. Now, we might be awesome framers, debatable, but we are definitely not awesome origamists. So that's why we like these corners, because they're just single piece. You pull the split liner and look at it. You just fold it up. Look at that. Just as simple as it can possibly be. This is just the prep. Stay tuned. We're going to follow this process throughout the door setting process.
Okay, so before we really jump into it, turn this bad boy off.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're going to set this front door. I will show you the process. First, probably my favorite tool of 2023. That little XGT blower from Makita. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I just thought I would show that. People think it's an impact driver. It's not. It's a little blower. Now that the sill pan is prepped, I'm going to set the door, the sill of the door, into a bed of sealant. And for that, I am using Sashko's Lexel. This stuff is pretty tenacious. Also, you can find it everywhere, so keep it.
Now, don't step in the Lexel. Name this movie. Yoo-hoo, I'll make you famous. Young Guns 2.
I don't know if I've seen the Young Guns.
Billy the Kid. Yeah.
I think I might have seen it.
When I was a kid, that was like my movie. Oh, yeah? Okay. It fit. It fit. Okay, so I'm just going to check a reveal. I can go that way.
I'm going to put a link in the description to Gary Katz's video and article over at thisiscarpentry.com. So what I'm just demonstrating is how I set doors, which is how Gary sets doors, except he does a way better job.
One backwards. This is really the kind of stuff that I should show up close.
I know we could use cedar shims. It might be cheaper. We could make shims. I just get these composite shims from Lowe's because they're cheap, and Lowe's is close to my house.
Yeah, your job, Kyle, will just be make sure that I'm flush with the. Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. I probably don't need to shoot it. Okay. So I'm going to check. Hey, somehow we got that right on the money. Let me just throw a couple in the bottom just to make sure. Okay. Hold on one sec. Okay. That feels pretty good. So we are tight at the top. There we go. That's a little tighter. Okay. Okay, we'll do that last. So the order is top hinge side, top strike side, bottom hinge side, bottom strike side, and then we'll end at the hinge. So what I'm just going to do right now is eyeball the reveal at the top. And what I do, shim the bottom under the hinge. Under the thingamajig. So that's pretty plumb that way. That's dead plumb that way. Did I get it?
So I'm just shimming up the left-hand side to even up the reveal across the top.
Okay, I'm just getting the top to look good, knowing. Okay, I think I can live with that. Because once this comes back, once it goes that way, we'll even out. Okay, not too shabby. And then, I bet you that tightens up. So I definitely did not need this guy.
Screw number one, or fastener number one, is going to go behind the weather strip. It's just this little trim-headed screw behind the weather strip underneath the shim. And that will allow us to adjust later as we set the door.
So right below the hinge. These things always want to come out.
And then same thing on the strike side. I'm going to go just below that shim at the
Right
top
below
behind
the
the weather
shim.
strip.
Or the shim? Why do I always say that? Okie doke. Okay, I'm gonna check plumb both ways before I put that bottom one in. So I could go that way a hair, and that is pretty much dead on the money. So loosen up those shims. Yeah, I'm gonna call that good. I'm gonna call that good.
And fastener number 3, behind the weather strip, above the shim, at the bottom, on the hinge side.
Okay,
Go
so
read
before
Gary's
we do
article.
this side, we just have to check for cross leg. And the way that I do that, see, like, we're like right on the money. But the way that we're gonna do that is if you check on the outside, Kyle, we're gonna just put slight pressure, not a lot, on the weather strip and see if it looks even. And I'm gonna be watching the inside because I want the door to be basically even against the jamb all the way down. And I look pretty good, I think. Let me do this. Let me tighten these up just a little because that was moving on me. So I feel like I'm looking really good right there. Okay. This was actually one of the easiest we've had to install. You know, if we get our framing right, it's a whole lot easier, yeah. But even if we don't,
And fastener number 4, above the shim, behind the weather strip, on the strike side. You can see it pull the frame. Don't worry about that. We're going to take care of that as we finish the process.
butt end in first, and then like that. My gap is like almost perfect as it is. So I'm thinking if I do that, now I'm looking good. Is like going through the hinge. We don't really have to do that. That can be adjusted, and by not going through the hinge, if you need to, I mean, granted, by the time the trim guys get in here, yeah, that looks good. I'm just looking for even. I feel like I can go.
Putting the shims above the hinge allows for future adjustment. Now, just straighten out the strike side and install shims
There's my
as
shim.
necessary.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, if you're like me, you get done setting a door, everything looks good except for this gap below the hinge. So here's something Gary Katz taught for many years. Just rotate your hammer handle, and then we're going to just put some shims. Notice I have the butt end and the skinny end. And I'm just going to adjust that until this looks nice and even. And I could probably take that out just a little bit. And there we go, nice and even.
Of course, like a moron, I forgot
it
to show, but I
forward.
do pin right below those shims. And then, of course, when we trim the outside of the door, that's going to help keep
Okay.
everything straight.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't need to do the rest of these. And then I'm going to shoot right below the hinge.
Throughout this entire process, I kept saying hinge instead of shim. So just like I did there,
Okay,
same
I
thing down
believe-
below.
That we are done. Okay.
Okay, so there's something I gotta say here. I shave in the shower every day, and I shave by braille, and I just gouged my chin. Now I've done this for years. Makes it easier to put on sunscreen. Got to keep these boyish good looks. Anyway, I just gouged the snot out of my chin. Last step here, of course, is flashing the legs. Make sure that you roll that tape, and then I'm going to flash the top. Later on, of course, the insulators will come in with their little foam backer, and they'll put that around the jamb between that and the framing. Now we're going to get into the front porch siding in the next video. There's a whole lot going on here. LP Expert Finish, that's the Benjamin Obdike Slicker Classic. Blah, 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 attorney at law. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point of this is just to show that nailing through the trim into the jamb helps to keep it all nice and straight. Just a closer look at some of the tools that we're using. This is the triple hammer from Metabo HPT. It's a great impact driver, nice and light. I'm using a battery that's way too big for it. It's for our saws, but it doesn't matter. It's still super light. That's the extension from Diablo, then of course the bit that comes with the strong tie trim-headed screws.
Roll the roll.
It's not even that funny.
If you've seen our other videos, you know we're fans of the Pass Load cordless nailers. They're lightweight. They've been great for us. As of June of 2022, I do some sponsored work for them. So just keep that in mind. And of course, the Stabila R-beam level, my original is from 2013, the end of 2013. So, by the way, there you can see that giant gouge in my chin. This is a newer one. The other one's faded, and I thought just looked better on camera. So there it is. That's how you have a problem-free, pre-fit door, as Gary Katz would say. So easy, a framer can do it. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button. See you in the next video, where we're going to get into the siding there.